I don't have the problem of meltdowns very often at all, and I don't really have all that much trouble making friends. Like, I know what type of people work for me, and so I've made 10 friends in the past 5 days at college, you know. I mean, it's not as easy for me as other people, but it's certainly, I'm capable. So the biggest challenge right now that I have is telling people that I have Asperger's. I mean, I don't hide it, it's not a huge deal, but almost always people respond one of two ways. And that's either with disbelief or pity. And so the disbelief is pretty easy to handle. You know, they're like, "Yo, you don't look autistic. You don't look autistic, you don't act autistic, like, we've never seen this from you," because they picture autistic as someone struggling to stack blocks. So, that I can really handle. You know, I can pretty much cite a few facts and tell them to Google it, but, the pity is kind of annoying to me. I am going into chemistry to study the brain and hopefully develop new medicines. And one of those medicines will hopefully be for autism. But if there was a cure today, I wouldn't take it. I have come to accept who I am. And so, I like the way I think, and even though I had trouble as a child, I really think that who I am today would be different if I didn't have Asperger's, and I don't want that. So, I'm going into chemistry, and if I end up curing autism with a team, that is good because everyone who has it can decide for themselves whether they want the cure or not, but I wouldn't take it. And so the pity really annoys me because they act like it's the end of the world when there isn't a cure, and it's not something that anyone really wants to hear. So, people with Asperger's think differently, but they also think in new ways that people without Asperger's wouldn't. And so, if I'm working with a neurotypical scientist, they'll think of things that I never would, and I'll think of things that they never would. And so, in that way, I think if people with Asperger's were diagnosed earlier, they could work in elementary school and middle school as less of social outcasts and end up in good universities and in good jobs and working with neurotypicals in a way that can cure things like autism. And so, yeah, that's the end.
Claire, I have a question.
Informative.
Yes.
How were you diagnosed? What did they do first?
There's a test, you answered questions. I know when I was 3, my mom took me in and we were out of the office in 10 minutes because the doctor basically laughed it off and said, no, she doesn't have that. So the only way I was diagnosed was that I read about it for a school paper, and I was like, this sounds like me, I should get tested for it, and I did, and so...
So it's just a series of questions.